In the throwaway mystery, the school has set up a bunch of giant dominoes. The culprit tries to blow them up because he hates people who see things in black and white. That's a weird motive. Argo Fump Book Review. Argo Fump Book Review. There's a one-page cameo appearance by Vijay Patel. Get used to brief cameos in this book. There's gonna be a lot of them. Vijay is ATAC's tech guy in the book series. This is the first and only time he appears in the graphic novels. It's nice to see him, I guess, but it's pretty pointless. He hugs the Hardys and then we don't see him again. In the first graphic novel, the Hardys stopped an international jewel thief who stole a necklace known as the Ocean of Osiria. The necklace is on display at the local museum. The Hardys visit the necklace with Chet Morton. Brian Conrad is there. Brian Conrad is always there. Also there are the Hardy Boys' girlfriends, Callie Shaw and Yola Morton. Hey girls, good to see you again! Where have you been for the past 18 books? The culprit steals the necklace and frames the Hardys for it. There's video footage of the Hardys stealing the necklace, which is obviously fake. The room was not that empty at the time of the theft. The guards think it's real and attempt to arrest the Hardys. Frank and Joe are forced to jump out a second-story window and run away. Waiting for them is Lindsay Ryder from Book 13 with their car from Book 17. I have no idea how she learned about their arrest and came to rescue them so quickly. It was 5 minutes at most? Lindsay says they're being framed for the events of Books 2, 4, 7, and 12. Lindsay distracts the guards so the Hardys can get away to Haley from Book 14. I think they just referenced 7 different books in 4 pages. I read those books, so I get the references, but it's still kind of hard to follow the story. The plot is bouncing around too much. Frank and Joe realize the culprit is going through all of their biggest cases in order. The next one is Book 8. That's not true. What about Books 3, 5, and 6? Those cases get ignored, as do the cases from Books 9, 16, 18, and 19. The skateboarder from Book 8 is named Pink Shade, although for some reason she's called Pink Shadow in this book. Yeah, they bring her back and get her name wrong. That's very sloppy. Pink Shadow does a skateboarding stunt, which the culprit sabotages. Joe catches Pink Shadow and saves her life. The Hardys know without being told they have to visit the box office. 2 people that look like them are robbing the place. There's a fist fight, and it's revealed their evil doubles are the Sisters Noir from Book 7. They claim they're being blackmailed by the culprit. Everyone gets arrested, and the Hardys are rescued by the Great Marconi, the magician from Book 11. The Hardys ride their car to ATAC headquarters from Book 15. Inside are a bunch of unconscious people and the floating head of Papa Noir from Book 10. The Hardys have seen The Wizard of Oz, so they know that whenever a giant head is floating in midair and yelling at them, they need to pay attention to the man behind the curtain. They rush to the projection room where they find Sarah, the culprit from Book 14. She's the main culprit of the book. The Hardys are upset that she's still evil, despite all their attempts to rehabilitate her. Dad consoles them by saying they can't save everyone. All they can do is try their best. The end. Post-book follow-up. This is the last book in the Hardy Boys graphic novel series. As you can tell, the author decided to end with a greatest hits book, where they revisit a bunch of places and characters from previous books. That's a good idea in theory, but it was terrible in practice. None of the characters were there for more than 3 pages. It was less of an exciting adventure and more of a random blur of characters that readers may or may not remember. I would have kept the setup of the Hardys being framed for the necklace theft, but I would have limited the other cameos to the stuff on the cover. Lindsay teams up with the Hardys to clear their name and stop the Sisters Noir. That's good enough. The book could have had that as the premise. It didn't need chapters dedicated to what if the magician does magic tricks? And Pink Shade, but we get her name wrong. And let's borrow Haley's computer. Lindsay Ryder had a cameo in book 16, and that was far better than her cameo here. There, she had a neat personality and was interesting. Here, she dumps a bunch of exposition on the Hardys, then skates away into a big action scene. Cool action scene, but I'd rather have Lindsay look and act the way she did before. Most of the characters look different, which makes no sense because they have the same artist. Couldn't the artist draw the characters the same way he did earlier? This book would be improved if it got rid of the throwaway mystery at the start, then they would have more room to mention the 8 books that were skipped. Overall, this feels like an adequate way to end the series. I would have preferred a mystery with suspects and investigation, but it's good to have a ton of characters from earlier books reappear. It still feels like a bunch of unrelated cameos and action scenes, which don't add up to much, but the action scenes were pretty good. I give Hardy Boys Undercover Brothers graphic novel number 20, Deadly Strategy, a 4 out of 10.